What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and thank you guys so much for joining me on today's video. So we do have some new information about the C8 mid-engine Corvette, and it looks like that we could have a possible unveiling of the new C8 Corvette on January 14th, just a little less than 10 days from now, which is the first day of the media event for Detroit's North American International Auto Show. Now, this would be extremely annoying to me because I actually planned on going to the Detroit's Auto Show, but I chose not to because Chevy said they were not planning to attend the event. So again, I just decided not to go. This information about the unveiling actually comes to us from Zerv02, who, if you guys actually can remember, brought us two other major C8 details. First, he gave us a rough sketch of the interior of the C8 Corvette that in some ways actually seems plausible. We've seen another photo and we've heard some more information that seems like he may not be completely off course for the sketch that he actually gave us. His second major tip that he gave us was the starting price on the C8 Corvette of $169,900. Now, I've already made a video expressing my disapproval of this number, but Zervo2 has strongly stood behind his leaked info. He's quoted as saying on the forums, "My source never lets me down." So this tells me that on January 14th, it's going to be a huge tell on whether his information is actually credible or not. I did find an article written by CarBuzz writer Jared Rosenholtz, who is aware of the claim that Zervo2 has made and actually reached out to GM to comment on this. Their response to Jared was, "Chevy will not be making any reveals at Detroit this year." So honestly, my overall guess is that his claims are not accurate information, but honestly, we don't have very long until we know for sure. So with this interesting claim being made by this forum user, I thought this would be a good time to do an overall snapshot on the C8 Corvette and what we know or speculate so far on it. The first topic we will talk about is the engine layout, and honestly, we're about 100% sure that this is the correct information, and that is that it will be a rear mid-engine design layout, which means the engine will be behind the driver. The car will have the traditional two-seat layout, which is what we have seen from all past generations. As far as drivetrain for the new C8 Corvette, it does look like it will be a rear-wheel drive version as past generations as well. However, with talking about drivetrain, there is one change that we may see on the faster and later variations. We've talked about this before, but it looks like what we know is we could possibly see three different variations, and this actually isn't different. Usually we have a base Corvette, we have a Z06, then a ZR1. Sometimes we also have the Grand Sport in between. But what we've been told and what we've heard to speculation is that we could see a 500 to 600 horsepower base Corvette as expected. Our next variation would be some sort of Z06 variant from that, and it would house 750 to 850 horsepower. The final variation of the C8 mid-engine Corvette could be a 1,000 horsepower hybrid system. Again, this is pure speculation, but there has been people that have come forward saying they have information on the topic and that a hybrid powertrain is possible. But what they've also noted is that with that much horsepower, Chevy is looking to possibly do an all-wheel drive version for the drivetrain for that highest horsepower hybrid design. This is extremely interesting because, of course, we've never seen an all-wheel drive vehicle for the Corvette layout. However, we also have not seen a rear mid-engine layout or 1,000 horsepower come from a Corvette stock, which is still a major increase over the current 755 horsepower ZR1 that you can buy. The next topic we're going to talk about is the actual engine, and there's several different engines that we've talked about before, and I'm going to list three of the most probable. The first engine being a 4.2 liter twin turbo V8 that produces around 550 horsepower and 620 pound-feet of torque. Now, this engine was designed for the Cadillac brand, but it could be used for the upcoming Corvette. The second engine that could possibly be used for the C8 is a new 5.5 liter flat crank V8, and that would produce around 550 horsepower as well. Many users that have heard the clip of the C8 prototype swear by their belief that they are hearing a flat plane crank engine. Now, the third and final possibility for the C8 engine could be a revamped LT1, which would make a lot of sense. A quick point that I do want to say is that whatever engine is placed into the C8 mid-engine Corvette, it will be open to see through a beautiful glass panel, which honestly is one of my favorite aspects of a car that sports it, including my Audi R8. Now, let's talk about the new C8 Corvette's transmission. We know so far that most likely the standard transmission that will be offered on the new Corvette will be a dual clutch transmission system. This is to be expected as almost all high-end sports cars have moved to this type of transmission. It will be extremely fast and improve driverability. There is a small ray of hope for the manual enthusiasts out there, as a patent has been submitted that outlines a potential manual transmission. However, this may be on a later variation of the car. As far as brakes go, a 2-pad brake system with one pad being a traditional performance brake and the secondary brake being a hydraulic parking brake is what we have seen so far on the C8 Corvette. There was an article put out by GM Authority talking about the brakes, hinting at the possibility of a dual stage braking system that is rarely seen, but honestly I don't believe this to be accurate. Another really cool aspect of the C8 Corvette is that we could see small bits of active aero around the car. This would change the downforce for the car depending on certain limits, as well as build more cooling if needed. A patent has been found that outlines this criteria. However, it is important to note that many patents are filed by automobile manufacturers and they never end up using them. Now, as far as production year, we have talked about the issues with possible delays because of an electrical system error. However, we still believe that the new C8 Corvette will most likely have the first production year, model year as well, of 2020. So that pretty much sums up all of the major topics residing around the new C8 Corvette. Again, a lot of it is speculation, but we do know that there is a very good prototype, several prototypes in fact, that are being driven around the Detroit area, and they're giving us a very good idea, especially upon the fact that it will be a rear mid-engine layout. But a lot of the other information seems like it's backed fairly confidently by some different people on the forums. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Are you guys fans of the new C8 Corvette? Do you not like the design? You've seen tons of the renders. What are your thoughts? Please share them below in the comments. Now, don't forget, I have some big plans coming up in 2019. I'm starting a new project next week with my Audi R8, as well as looking to possibly push the limits with this channel on purchasing a C7 Corvette to do some really cool content. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you're not already a subscriber, please think about subscribing now. Don't forget also to hit that little bell notification so you guys are told every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for your support, and as always, we'll see you next video. Take care.